Where does romance begin, really? Is it a spark that slips into your chest when a certain look lands just right? Or a quiet decision others don't notice you've made? The moment you choose to stay? The origin of romance isn't a single event, and it isn't a secret scroll handed down by destiny. It's a long, winding backstory stitched from biology, memory, and shared stories. A tapestry that grows brighter the more hearts pull toward one another. Tonight we explore that backstory, the surprising origins of romantic love. Explained simply for anyone who has ever hoped that love could find you in the ordinary. And transform the ordinary into something worth staying for. Let us start with the science that lives beneath the surface of every blush and every slow smile. Our bodies are wired for connection in ways that feel almost miraculous, yet are perfectly practical. When two people connect, the brain lights up with signals that feel a little like fireflies in your chest. Dopamine climbs, giving us that lift, the sense that the world has shifted to make room for possibility. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, travels through the bloodstream when we touch, when we share a secret, when we lean in and listen. It's not magic. It's chemistry designed for collaboration, cooperation, and the care required to raise a child together. Romance, at its root, is a chemistry of trust turning into companionship. But chemistry alone can't explain the story we tell about love, the stories we tell ourselves and each other, the songs we sing, the books we reread, the movies we watch on rainy evenings. The origin story of romance also travels through culture. Through rituals that make closeness feel sacred and worth protecting. Early humans learned to gather, to split tasks, to trade concerns for comforts, to read one another's moods as a matter of survival. In those earliest villages, a pair would often become a unit, not just to share a bed, but to share a life, to hunt or forage, to guard a hearth, to teach a child the rhythm of trust. Over generations, the idea that a loving partnership was the best way to navigate life became a social norm. A pattern that families practiced and passed down. Consider how language itself shapes romance. Words born in the nursery of myth and poetry have always helped us keep faith with one another when actions alone aren't enough. A whispered vow, a promise spoken aloud in the quiet after a long day, can feel like a thread tying two people to a future they're still choosing, day after day. The romance you see in a lullaby or a late-night confession isn't just sentiment. It's the cultural reinforcement of what it means to care deeply and to stay faithful to that care. The origin story writes itself in every tender lyric. In every scene of forgiveness after a stumble. In every effort to understand a hurt and repair it with gentleness. And then there's the myth-making. The way stories shape our expectations and, paradoxically, our choices. In ancient myths, lovers were often rewarded not merely for passion but for resilience. The patience to endure trials. The courage to trust when fear flickers in the background. The willingness to adapt when life grows noisy with competing demands. Courtly love, which blossomed in medieval courts, reframed romance as a noble project, an art form that demanded perception, restraint, and care as much as heat and longing. Even if you don't live inside a castle. The idea that love is something you actively cultivate through attention, through acts of service, through the daily choosing of another's happiness has traveled down through centuries to us today. Romance isn't a fairy tale so much as a long apprenticeship in human connection. So how does this blend of biology and culture translate into something you can feel on a Wednesday afternoon? It starts as a pull, a recognition of shared attention. You notice the person who sees you, truly sees you, the way your laughter climbs a little higher when you're with them. The way your shoulders ease when they listen rather than respond from a position of defense. That moment grows when you begin to exchange small commitments. A text that waits for a reply. A drive to pick up groceries after a long day. A recipe shared and then adjusted for two. Those small choices become the scaffolding of trust, and trust is the quiet engine of romance. It's the daily investment in someone else's joy. The ability to pick a fight and still come back with love intact. The stubborn belief that two imperfect people can build something lasting. But romance isn't only about the grand gestures or the first kiss. It's also about the ordinary bravery of showing up again the next day. Even when you're tired or scared, you've changed beyond recognition. The origin story teaches us that romance isn't a sudden eruption, but a slow, often stubborn flowering. It's the taste of morning coffee shared at the table after a night of uncertain dreams. It's the decision to stay, to learn, to forgive. To grow together as weather changes and seasons shift. And yes, it often starts with a spark. But it deepens through listening, a listening that survives misunderstandings. A listening that makes space for vulnerability. A listening that believes in repair even after a stumble. Let me tell you a simpler way to think about it. Romance is the story your life tells when you decide to give your focus to another person. A story in which you're both co-authors. The origin isn't somewhere you go to find it. It's something you cultivate with every exchange that matters. A shared joke that makes you feel known. A quiet moment when you both choose to be honest about fear or longing. A hand held at the door as you step into the world together. These acts aren't flashy, but they are precise, deliberate, and tender. They are the footprints of a romance that is growing. Even when it's barely noticeable to the outside world. There is a surprising twist in this backstory. One that often surprises people who imagine romance as fate's sudden wink. The origin of romantic love is not only about being moved by a single moment, it's about choosing to stay. Choosing to build a shared life when the world seems loud and unforgiving. Choosing to forgive when hurt runs deep. Choosing to keep a promise to be kinder tomorrow than you were yesterday. The myth of instant magic can be comforting, but the real alchemy is practical and patient. Love grows when two people learn each other's rhythms the way a partner needs space or affection. The cadence that makes conversations feel safe. The tempo of trust that allows vulnerability to feel like an invitation rather than a risk. In everyday life, you can sense the origin in tiny rituals. A goodnight text that ends with warmth. A missed call answered with care. A shared playlist that carries both of you through a long week. These are the footprints of romance, subtle yet enduring. And because romance has a history, it also has a future. It can begin anew in a friendship that becomes something more. Or in a love that survives a difficult chapter and re-emerges. Stronger for having weathered the storm. The origin story isn't about endings, it's about continual renewal. It's about learning how to hold someone close enough to feel safe and brave at the same time. If you're listening because you hoped romance could spark anew in your own life, here is the simplest possible takeaway. Romance is not a place you arrive at, but a practice you sustain. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or a perfect partner. You can begin with a single, small decision to listen a little longer, to say, "I'm here." To choose empathy over being right. To extend an apology you almost spoke but paused to consider. These choices are the seeds from which a future romance can grow. And if you're surrounded by routine or disappointment, remember that every love story that lasts began as a vote to keep trying. A quiet belief that a better day can be built with another person by your side. So when you wonder how romance began, you don't have to search for a dazzling origin in the far past or in some once-in-a-lifetime moment. You can find it in the everyday, in the way you listen, in the way you remember small details, in the courage to speak your truth with tenderness, in the stubborn joy of choosing the other person again and again. The origin story is not a single location but a trajectory. A line drawn through time that asks one simple question: will you stay, will you care? Will you keep choosing love even when it's not dramatic, even when it's not perfect? Even when life is asking you to hurry somewhere else? If you're a reader who loves the idea that love finds us, and a believer that romance is something you nurture with your hands as well as your heart, Then this tale of origins offers a gentle map. It isn't about chasing a moment of magic. It's about cultivating a habit of care that turns ordinary days into the birthplace of something luminous. It's about recognizing that romance grows where trust takes root, where forgiveness is practiced like a skill, where hope survives long enough to be rewarded with a lasting bond. And so, dear listener, the origin of romance isn't a riddle solved by a single clue. It's a shared human achievement. A slowly unfolding consensus that love is worth the effort. That two people can become a shelter for one another, and that, above all, love is a practice you can begin today, right now, in small, honest ways. If you're listening with your heart open, you'll hear that you're part of the story to the original, ongoing origin that every couple writes when they choose to stay, day after day, in a world that sometimes forgets how remarkable it is to care. Thank you for listening to this gentle walk through the origin of romance. May you carry the idea with you. Romance isn't a perfect gift you find and hoard. It's a growing thing you nurture with kindness, patience, and undeniable courage. And if these moments have reminded you that love is possible even in the small rituals of ordinary life, then the story has already begun anew inside you. Let it grow, let it surprise you, and let it lead you toward a path where both your heart and your